Welcome to the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. We are getting you set as the Wranglers are on the road today in San Diego, California to battle the Strike Force. Ed, it should be an exciting game tonight inside the Pechanga Arena. A little bit of Sunday matinee football here on the air, and we're going to get folks set for kickoff between the Strike Force and their Northern Arizona Wranglers.
JP, this is a huge game because Northern Arizona has only a game up on San Diego. After their win over Tulsa last week, they're 4-6. Northern Arizona, with their 3-game losing streak, is at 5-5. They're holding on to that 4th playoff spot in the Western Conference. So this is a huge game for both of these football teams. If San Diego wants to get into the playoff race, they've got to knock off Northern Arizona. And if the Wranglers want to stay in pace for the playoffs, James, they've got to beat San Diego today. It's that plain and simple.
They do indeed. It really is, as you said, Ed. It's a must-win for both these football teams here today in San Diego, and something's going to give. We're going to find out here in just a matter of hours how this thing comes out. But stay with us here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. We will return here in just a little bit and preview the game between your Wranglers and the San Diego Strike Force. Check in also there with our Director of Communications, Mr. Tucker Welch, inside the Pechanga Arena here in just a little bit as well, as we get you set for kickoff between the Wranglers and the Strike Force. Stay with us here. We'll be right back on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show live here on the Wranglers YouTube channel. Stay with us.
Buffalo Wild Wings win-win value lineup gives you and your friends more for less. With buy one, get one half off traditional wings every Tuesday. Buy one, get one free boneless wings every Thursday. And $3 tolls every day. Only at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
You got a voice, Molly. Use it. Do it for the phone.
Let's do it for the phone. They do so much for you. When I'm out there all alone, there's something we can do. T-Mobile, look at these maps, they don't lie. And faster, speeds nationwide. Let's do it for the phone.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bill or know someone who is, we're here to help. Find APS bill assistance programs to reduce your monthly payment or help pay down the bill. Short-term relief like crisis bill assistance can help during a rough patch, while our energy support program can reduce your bill every month. Explore all your assistance options and see if you qualify at aps.com/here to help.
We welcome you back to the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show live here on the Wranglers YouTube channel. James Poovey coming to you live here alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. You can see we're having a little bit of a pool party over here in Glendale today, Ed. It's great stuff. We're over at my brother-in-law's house, and he was kind enough to loan me his basically his entire living room to do the show here this afternoon. I'm eternally grateful for that, but we had to get the pregame show on the air, as you knew we would. And we're getting the folks set up here for the battle today between the Wranglers and the Strike Force. We had a comment come in here just a little bit ago, Mr. Shane Dutzler checking in with us, and he's exactly right. The playoffs start right now for the Wranglers, Ed, and he's exactly right. This is a must-win game for both these teams.
Yeah, Shane, you're right, because as we mentioned right off the bat, 5-5 against 4-6. Every one of these teams in the Western Conference are actually in it. Even I'm looking at the standings right now. Every team is in this. Even Duke City and Vegas at 4-7, they're still within striking distance. So it is imperative for Northern Arizona to go to San Diego, get that victory, especially James, knowing that they've got a 3-game homestand. 3 of the next 4 are at home. Of course, we end with the Arizona Rattlers back down in Phoenix, but it is on the Wranglers to get this victory today, go to 6-5, and then get ready for a tough 3-game homestand with Frisco and Tucson and Massachusetts with a bye week mixed in over the next month.
You know, Ed, they always say you have to be peaking at the right time, and that's exactly what the Wranglers are going to have to do this season to even get into the playoffs and then progress deep into those playoffs, because it's really right now a logjam, especially in the Western Conference. We talked about it just a few weeks ago. All these Arizona teams knotted up right there at the midway point of the season, right about 5-4, 5-5, some of them 6-5. And right now it's a log jam there. And some of these teams right now are going to start to separate here over the next couple of weeks. And hopefully the Wranglers are one of those teams.
And JP, we've got to keep our eyes on what's going to happen at Footprint Center today. We got a huge game. Bay Area and Arizona are going to kick off at the same time that we kick off in San Diego. So we'll keep one of our other eyes on what goes on in Phoenix. And of course, we'll keep all of our eyes on San Diego, but we'll still peek in on what the Rattlers and the Panthers are going to do.
Speaking of the Rattlers, let's take a look at some highlights from the last time these two played each other, the Rattlers and the Wranglers. Obviously, didn't go the way we wanted it to inside the FTC, but the boys battled much as they did down at the Footprint Center, Ed, down in Phoenix. And you had to be happy if you're Coach Moss and the staff with the effort and knowing that it's just right there.
Yeah, because they knew the enormity of that game. They knew that it's the Rattlers. They bring that mystique. They bring that championship caliber organization up to Prescott Valley. So they knew that they had to step up. Yes, Lonnie, the attitude during warm-ups was great. The teams they are ready. They better be ready for San Diego. But yes, that game was huge last week. Went to 2 overtimes, and it was unfortunately the Wranglers were not able to pull it out. But as you mentioned, give them credit for fighting to take it to 2 overtimes. They were down 48-40 toward the end of the game, and Garrett Kettle throws a touchdown to Ramad Jockey-Al-Bowman. He gets a 2-pointer. This thing goes to overtime. They go back and forth with score for score. But as we mentioned, as we look at Ryan Wisniewski get that touchdown catch in overtime to make it 56-56. What a great catch, huh, JP?
Unbelievable job there. Not the first time Wisniewski has gone over the wall this season inside the Finley Toyota Center. That guy not afraid to climb the wall, Ed. And I'm really looking for this offense to get back on track. They really played a good game overall against those Rattlers, but I'm really looking for them to really click here this afternoon against the San Diego Strike Force.
Yes. You look at Garrett Kettle's numbers last week, 16 of 26, 222, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns to add to that. So Garrett had a phenomenal game and probably one of the biggest games of his young IFL career, James, against the Rattlers. And you look at Glenn Gibbons Jr. had that rushing touchdown we saw in overtime, and Kettle with the 2 touchdowns, Jockey-Al-Bowman 4 touchdowns, Ryan Wisniewski 2 more touchdowns. So the offense is clicking. It is going to have to click some more because you know who they're facing today? They're facing Nate Davis. Guess how many interceptions he's thrown since he's been in San Diego? None. He's thrown 27 touchdowns, James, 0 interceptions. As a matter of fact, in the last 3 games against Tulsa, Frisco, and his former team, Duke City, 18 touchdowns, no interceptions. So you know that guy is going to be on fire today. The secondary's got to play as tight as they've ever played this season, and the defensive line has got to get pressure on Nate today. Otherwise, it could be one of these shootouts like we had last week.
You know, Ed, they are absolutely going to have to disrupt Nate Davis. We're very familiar with that young man as well. Seen him a number of times there with the Duke City Gladiators, and now he's out there on the left coast, as they call it, with the San Diego Strike Force. And if you don't account for him on every single play, he can hurt you in a number of different ways.
And JP, I'll tell you who else can hurt you. Marquise Hoodie Rogers. We know Hoodie from his time.
We do indeed.
Northern Arizona, and Kentrez Bell, the league's leading receiver as far as yardage is concerned. He's got 18 touchdowns. So he's tied with Ramad for number 2 in the league, I believe, in touchdown receptions. Carrington Thompson leads the IFL in touchdown receptions with 19, but those guys can hurt you as well. Edward Vander had a big game last week. We'll run some highlights from that Tulsa game, but they've got a wealth of talent on offense. And on defense, they're just as good. David Haney, one of the best defensive backs in the indoor football league. Garrett Kettle's got to be able to account for him because David Haney is lurking somewhere on that field.
You know it.
Yes.
You know he is indeed. We'll step aside here and take a short time out, and when we return, we'll take a closer look at those San Diego Strike Force as they battle those Tulsa Oilers, as Ed mentioned a moment ago. We'll be right back with you here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. Stay with us. We'll return in a moment.
There's a little piece of magic in the heart of the Verde Valley, where adventure is encouraged. Whether you're whining and dining, rocking and rolling, or pushing and pulling, it's your adventure. Play however you choose.
Who's to say you don't have the skills to reach the top? Who's to say you don't have power?
This is how we do it.
to say you can't own the stage? Who's to say you can't put a team together? Who's to say who's best? The best ever? Or who will be in the future? And with this game-changing team to inspire us, who's to say what's possible for you? Pepsi, play to inspire.
We welcome you back here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. Ed, they were supposed to say, let's go Wranglers, but you know what? It was a cool shot nonetheless, and they did the best they could. We welcome you back as we get you ready here for the Wranglers and the Strike Force. As we mentioned a little bit ago, let's take a closer look, Ed, at those Strike Force and see exactly what they were up to as they battled those Tulsa Oilers. You know, it's one of those games, you talked about it earlier, when you play a team that's been struggling and their record's down, it's kind of a trap game, Ed, because they can come up and sneak up and bite you before you even realize it.
And there's the thing, you don't want to discount a 1-8 football team. That's what Tulsa was coming into that game last week in San Diego at Pechanga Arena. And going into the fourth quarter, and a good portion of the fourth quarter, James, they were up 13 points, Tulsa was. So San Diego had to rally back and get a 14-0 run and get that victory, and they almost lost the game because it came down to a 18-yard field goal attempt from Tulsa's kicker, and he missed it. Jeremy Reynolds missed an 18-yard field goal. That's here in the highlights. You'll see it toward the end, but that was a great game. You see Nate Davis right there. He's just buying his time. He throws an interception right there to get them a little bit closer. Yes, Steve, let's go Wranglers. He's in the snake pit. He's getting ready for Bay Area, and he's watching the game. Very nice.
Hey, we got some Wranglers fans down there at the Footprint Center, Ed.
And there's that 18-yarder that Jeremy Reynolds missed, allowing San Diego to narrowly escape with a 1-point victory. Again, upping their record to 4-6, keeping them in playoff contention. But that is a game that gives them supreme confidence, doesn't it, James? Knowing that, again, they were down 13 points in the fourth quarter, and they were able to run off 14 straight and get a victory. And again, bring their record to 4-6 and get that much closer to Northern Arizona in this playoff race.
You know, that's all that a team like that needs, is just that tiny little bit of motivation, that tiny little spark that someone has lit underneath that football team, and that can be all they need to motivate them and really start to put them over the edge for the season and turn things around. And this would be a perfect game for them to do that. But obviously, the Northern Arizona Wranglers want to stop that from happening. Indeed, we'll take a short time out here, and when we come back, we'll get you ready for Wranglers and the Strike Force out in San Diego, and hopefully check in with our Director of Communications, Mr. Tucker Welch. Stay with us here on the program. We'll be right back with more pregame show right after this.
Obviously, we got termites.
Well, first thing is, you got to know what they're biting on.
Whoa, yeah.
This aged birchwood is perfect for the big ones this time of year.
Oh.
They gobble it up like a candy bar.
Nice.
What's going on?
What?
I told you to hire a pro.
I did get a pro.
An Orkin pro.
I got this.
Got termites? Don't call any pro. Call the Orkin Pro. With over 120 years of experience, nobody's better. Orkin, the best in pests.
You're still paying me for this.
Nope, just relax.
And that's cut. We are clear.
Come on, Playmaker. Why you always got to be so awkward on camera? I would say you make me look bad, but we both know that is entirely impossible.
It was possible back in the day on the football field, that's for sure.
You got to be losing your mind. Somebody roll back these tapes, man. Can somebody get this man some water? He ain't feeling well. Please, somebody.
We'll all feel better when you stop all that trash talk.
Dub, are you serious? Look like you needed some real trash talk. See, this ain't trash. This is recycling, which means it goes in the recycling bin. Schooling you again, Playmaker, as usual.
The only thing you ever schooled me on was how to get away with bad calls. That was embarrassing.
Not as embarrassing as you putting recyclables in the trash can.
When did we start talking about your touchdown dance? That was embarrassing.
You've gone too far. My God. Look like old days. Boy, you know I love you. Know the difference? Make a difference. Be a team player and recycle. Visit PepsiTrashTalk.com to learn more.
There you heard it, folks. Welcome back here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Ed, they got it that time, my friend.
Very nice coordination, James.
Well, you know, it's not easy to do when you got the kids and they're outside playing in the pool. Everybody's having a good time. And, hey, let's face it, everybody's getting ready for kickoff here between the Wranglers and the Strike Force. You can see the games getting ready there on the IFL Indoor Football League YouTube channel. I got that on behind us here. And any final thoughts as we get ready to sign off here in just a few minutes and encourage people to head on over to the Indoor Football League YouTube channel and check out the game broadcast. And don't forget, folks, we'll be right back here with you for a halftime show as well as the postgame show after Wranglers and Strike Force.
I mean, I'm not breaking any news by saying that the Wranglers have to win this football game. You cannot have a 4-game losing streak heading into a 3-game homestand. That is crucial to the playoff, the potential playoff future of your football team. You've got to come out and seize control of this game early. I know it's going to be difficult because it really is amazing what one player can actually add to a football team. You add Nate Davis to this football team. We saw what San Diego was back in early April when they came to Prescott Valley. They were a much different football team then when we beat them 48-9 than they are right now. They've been 2-3 since Nate's been there. But again, 27 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. When your quarterback is playing at a high level like that, James, that's going to guide the rest of your football team. When you know QB1 is playing like that, everybody else on that football team has to elevate their level of play. But for the Wranglers today, they've got to just go out, play as mistake-free football as you can. Do not turn the ball over. I noticed last week San Diego had 15 penalties for almost 100 yards. So Northern Arizona is going to have to win that part of the game as well with the penalties and turnovers and all that stuff. Be the lesser on that part. Be more aggressive offensively, defensively, and of course, it's going to come down to special teams. We saw it bit us in the rear last week with the 2 missed extra points. But that's not the only reason that they lost. But that is primarily one of the main reasons. But special teams has got to be much stronger than it's been over the last couple of weeks if they want to come out victorious out of San Diego.
Let's face it, the Wranglers are really going to have to play strong in all 3 phases of the game here today, offense, defense, and special teams. And I look for them to do so on the road today inside the Pechanga Arena there in San Diego. Thank you so much for tuning in here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers pregame show. For my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole, I'm saying so long here for now, but don't forget to make sure and join us back here at the halftime for the halftime show, and then we'll be back with you as well right here on the Northern Arizona Wranglers channel here for the post-game show following the contest. Ed, enjoy the game, my friend, and I will see you back here at halftime, my friend.
All right, buddy. Enjoy, guys.
Enjoy it, folks. We enjoy bringing the pregame show to you, and make sure to join us right back here for the halftime show between the Wranglers and the Strike Force. Enjoy the game.
Wranglers.
Kickoff is just about 15 minutes away. Get yourself on over to the IFL YouTube channel and enjoy the game. Go Wranglers.
Go Wranglers.